Is it possible that the smokiest wood pellet for your pellet grill isn't even made with wood at all? In this video, I'm smoking a brisket with pellets made entirely out of pecan shells and one smoked with regular wood pellets, and we're gonna see which one is smokier. I must be nuts to try this, but we're gonna do it anyway, so let's get smoking. The pecan shell pellets I'm using in this video are from Smokin' Pecan. These pellets are made with 100% pecan shells, no fillers, oils, binders, or wood. According to their website, pecan shells burn slower and better than hardwoods, and according to a YouTube video by Smokin' Joe Barbecue, they have a really amazing flavor. So I'm really interested to see how they'll stack up against the control brisket, which will be smoked with Lumberjack 100% hickory pellets. Lumberjack is a premium brand of pellets that I personally think imparts a lot more smoke flavor than a lot of other brands, so I think this will be an interesting comparison. So first thing I'm doing is loading up my Pits and Spits Maverick 1250 with a box of Smokin' Pecan pellets. They have a very dark appearance and feel a little bit heavier and less dry than wood pellets, which is interesting to me. It's 7 p.m. on Friday, so I'm placing the experimental brisket on the Pits and Spits on the upper rack with a large water pan below to add humidity and block radiant heat. I have my wet and dry bulb thermometer next to it to track ambient heat and humidity, and now I'm going to close it up and smoke it at 180 degrees Fahrenheit overnight for the next 12 hours. At 7 a.m. the next morning, I'm checking on the experimental brisket, and it's starting to form a really nice dark bark, darker at this stage than the control brisket, which could mean that the pecan pellets are imparting more smoke. We shall see. At this point, I'm also spritzing the brisket, refilling the water pan, and increasing the temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit to finish the brisket. 5 hours later at 1 p.m., the brisket is looking very dark and the fat cap is rendering really nicely. It's also probing at around 190 degrees internal everywhere I probe, so I'm wrapping it up in foil with a bit of tallow added. I'm decreasing the temperature of the smoker to 180, and I'm letting the brisket ride out for another 2 hours at an internal temperature hovering around 190 to 195 to finish it to probe tenderness. Then I'm probing it for tenderness. It's tender, so I'm removing it from the smoker, letting it rest down to 140 internal, which took around 2 hours, and now it's time for the taste test. But before we get to the taste test, I'd like to thank Pits and Spits for sponsoring this video. Based in Houston, Texas, Pits and Spits is a manufacturer of high-quality offset smokers, pellet grills, charcoal smokers, and much more. In particular, I really like their Maverick 1250 pellet grill, and I can say with complete confidence that it produces the best briskets I've ever smoked on a pellet grill, and I've tried a lot of different pellet grills. With the optional smoke cage attachment, the Maverick allows me to make offset quality briskets on a pellet grill, which is something I never thought I'd be saying, but the smoke flavor, the fat cap rendering, the evenness of cooking, the appearance, all of it comes together in this machine to help me make amazing Texas-style briskets with the convenience of a pellet grill. The other thing I really like about this smoker is how solidly built it is. It's fully welded, it's beefy, thick steel design, it really retains a lot of heat when it gets up to temp, and it results in more even cooking temperatures. It also has a fully slide out bottom and top rack, which allows me to put a large water pan below my briskets, which in my opinion is absolutely essential to creating great briskets on a pellet grill. I wouldn't cook one without it. The Maverick 1250 is absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a real pellet grill with quality that you can pass down to your kids and performance that knocks cheaper pellet grills out of the park. I'll put a link to the Maverick 1250 as well as the smoke cage in the description section below for you guys to check it out. All right, let's get back to the taste test. All right, guys, I have the control brisket here that was smoked with the Lumberjack 100% hickory pellets, and I have the experimental brisket here that was smoked with the Smokin' Pecan pellets. So now I'm going to cut into the control brisket. You'll notice that it's a little bit cut from the flat because that's how I got it from the butcher. Well, I got it from Costco, and sometimes you get a weird brisket when you buy in bulk. So this is the one that I used for the control because it's not as pretty. So let's cut into this guy. One thing I will mention right away is that this guy looks a little bit less dark than this guy. So the one that was smoked with the wood pellets looks a little bit less dark than the one smoked with the pecan pellets. So let's cut into this right where I normally would, between the point and the flat. Slicing really nicely. I will give you guys a nice little close-up. Nice and juicy. I'm liking the look of it. Let's get some board tallow on there. Now let's get a slice of the flat. That's more point than flat, so we'll cut a little bit further down until I get a little bit more of the flat. All right, so there is a nice little slice of the flat. We'll pull this apart. Pulls apart really easily. Let's give it a taste. And I'm just going to taste a little bit of the bark. I'm not going to taste the whole slice. It tastes really good. It's got a really nice smoky flavor from the lumberjack pellets. So it's a good brisket and it's got a lot of smoke flavor. So I'm interested to see if the pecan shell pellet smoked brisket will be any better or smokier. First of all, I'm going to take a smell of it. Ooh. And I just smelled the control brisket to compare them. This smells more like I would expect a brisket that was smoked with mesquite pellets to smell like. It smells very mesquite-y, that sort of licoricey black smoke taste that is really prominent. So that's an interesting thing to note. It smells a lot like mesquite, even though it's pecan shells. Let's see how it tastes. I'll slice into this guy. And I'll give you guys a look at this brisket. Ooh. Looks pretty nice to me, I'm not gonna lie. So let's take a slice of the flat here. Give you guys a look. Pulls apart nicely. Let's see how it tastes. Tell you guys, it is smokier than the control brisket by a lot. By a lot. I'm going to cut off some of the burnt ends here. That's where a lot of smoke flavor should have accumulated, so let's slice off these burnt ends. Give this guy a taste. Okay, I just tried a few more slices. I tried the burnt ends, and I will say definitively that the pecan shell pellet smoked brisket is a lot smokier than the brisket that was smoked with wood pellets, by a lot. It's like the difference between a brisket smoked with cherry wood pellets and a brisket smoked with mesquite wood pellets. Now, mesquite generally produces smokier meat because it has a high lignin content. I'm not sure what the chemical composition of pecan shells are, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a high concentration of lignin in pecan shells or something else that is accounting for the very smoky flavor. To be specific, the flavor is very smoky, obviously, but it's a very potent flavor of smokiness. It's also got some hints of licorice and clove, similar to what you get with smoking with mesquite. So I'm very impressed by these smokin' pecan pellets. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, so this is just my honest opinion. And I'm telling you right now that it's a lot smokier than these lumberjack pellets, which are considered on the smokier end of wood pellets that you can buy. So if you're finding you're not getting a lot of smoke flavor from your pellet grill and you're looking for more smoke flavor, these smokin' pecan pellets will do the job. And it's a weird conclusion to have. I didn't think I'd have that conclusion in this video because these pellets aren't even made of wood, and this is one of the smokier briskets I've ever tasted that came from a pellet grill. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video, and happy smoking.